Have you ever wanted something so badly and at the same time you were scared to even try? Not because you were lazy, not because you didn't care, but because a question kept playing over and over in your mind. What if I fail? A small, still voice. What if I start and it doesn't work? What if people laugh at me? What if I make the wrong decision? What if I'm not even good enough? If you've ever asked yourself any of these questions, then today's conversation is for you. Welcome again to another episode of Beyond the Degree podcast with Dorcas. Fear. Not the kind of fear that comes from danger, but the kind of fear that shows up when you're trying to grow. The kind of fear that shows up when you want to start something new. The kind of fear that whispers, what if it doesn't work out? And if I'm being honest, I don't think fear is something we talk about often. Because we look at successful people and we often focus on their results, on their achievements, the progress they make, opportunities around them. But we rarely see doubt they had before they started. We rarely see the fear they had, the fear of failing. And one thing I've realized is fear does not always stop people by shouting. Sometimes it stops people by speaking quietly. We convince you to wait. Wait until you are confident. Wait until you know more. Wait until everything is perfect. Wait until you've succeeded. And before you know it, weeks, months, and even years will pass you by. This is not because you couldn't start something, but because fear kept convincing you that you weren't ready. And looking back now, I think there were even moments in my life where fear disguised itself as waiting. I thought I was waiting for the right time, waiting till I had everything all figured out, waiting till I was fully prepared, But the truth is, sometimes I was just simply afraid of starting a fresh journey, afraid of failing, afraid of looking foolish. And I think many people, especially many young people, can relate to that. We want certainty, we want perfection even before we take actions. But one thing I've learned is life doesn't work that way. Many people don't start because they are sure of what they are doing or what they're about to start. They start because they are willing to start, willing to learn, willing to make mistakes, willing to grow out of those mistakes. One thing I would always say is, nobody has everything all figured out. Not even the person starting a business, not the person learning a skill, not the person creating content or applying for opportunities here and there. No one has it all figured out. But most people are simply taking one step at a time. And that's one thing I've always reminded myself of. Because sometimes the fear of failure becomes bigger than failure itself. We become so afraid of making mistakes that we never give ourselves a chance to even succeed. Our mind, our reasoning becomes clouded by fear. What if I don't succeed? What if it doesn't work out? So before I end today's episode, I want to leave you with these 3 thoughts. First, stop asking only what if I fail. Also ask yourself, what if it works? What if it succeeds? A lot of people, their life has been so tuned to the path of failure that they are never optimistic. Any opportunity they hear like this, their final resolution or the first statement you even hear from them is, it can't work out. Could it work, Jerry? It can't work out. The fact that you've laid your hand on this, that, and it's not working out does not mean it won't work out. Fear is a state of the mind. Success is also a state of the mind. When your heart is positioned towards the path of failure, you will always experience failure in everything you do. But when your heart is positioned towards the path of success, definitely success will always come to you. You will always attract success. You will always attract success. There is no two way to it. It is a normal thing that should happen. Also, I want you to remember that failure is not the opposite of growth. That's one area where we are mistaken. Sometimes failure is part of growth. The school of thought said failure is a stepping stone to success. So failure is a part of growth. Sometimes the lesson you learn becomes valuable than the result you even wanted. Experiences of life you've learned are the ones that will help you grow, that will help you succeed, and then you'll be able to avoid falling into other people's ditch. Again, I don't want you to always wait until you feel completely confident. Confidence or courage comes after action, after taking steps, not before it. That's one thing I have learned. Before anyone says I'm confident, if you must have done something, it shouldn't be before you did that thing. That's why courage or confidence comes after you've taken steps, not before you took steps. Moreover, another area where we are mistaken is courage or confidence is not the absence of fear. It's actually you moving forward even when fear is present. Because at the end of it all, every meaningful thing we want in life comes with some level of risk. And maybe the goal, the target is not to avoid failure completely. Maybe the goal is to become the kind of person who isn't even afraid to learn from it. So before I leave, I want to ask you something. What is one thing you've been wanting to do but fear has been holding you back from starting? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening to Beyond the Degree podcast with Dorcas. And until next time we meet, keep growing, keep learning, and keep building a life that transcends beyond the degree.